And welcome back. The National Alliance on Mental Illness of NYC has offered life-changing support, education, and advocacy to families and individuals affected by mental illness. Now, the organization will be celebrating 40 years of peer-based community support during May's Mental Health Awareness Month with the annual fundraising event, NAMIwalks NYC. Joining us now to share more details, we are pleased to have the the Associate Executive Director of the National Alliance on Mental Illness of NYC, Lynnette Verges. And we thank you so much for being with us here, Lynnette.
Thank you so much for having me.
When we talk about mental illness, obviously, a lot of people are aware, some people aren't. But for those that aren't so aware, give us a little bit of insight into identifying someone who may be struggling with mental illness.
Absolutely. So I think one of the key takeaways that I want the viewers to know is that there isn't any one way in which mental health challenges or symptoms present themselves. People who are living with depression, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or any other mental health condition, their symptoms and challenges even when they have the same diagnosis. But there are some common signs and symptoms that we want people to be aware of, may be possible indicators that someone is struggling and they need some additional support. Those include extreme changes in their mood, excessive worries or fears, having difficulty with motivation, interest, and energy level, changes in eating and sleeping habits, and difficulty managing their day-to-day activities, as well as social isolation from normal social activities, family members, and friends. If you or someone you know is struggling with any one of those signs and symptoms, please reach out for support and assistance through NAMI NYC.
And when we talk about NAMI NYC, talk about all of these supportive services that you actually offer for those who may be affected.
Absolutely. So the National Alliance on Mental Illness of New York City, also known as NAMI NYC, has been serving the community for over 40 years. Our mission is to provide education, support, and advocacy services to both individuals living with a mental health condition, as well as their family members and friends. We provide a vast array of different services, including educational classes. We have over 30 different support groups. We have a helpline that's available in English and Spanish, and our full array of services is available free of charge to all who participate.
When we talk about New York City, we know that this is a city that never sleeps. And part of the things about the city that never sleeps is, unfortunately, we are commonplace to tragedies, incidents, horrific deaths, things of that nature. Talk to me about those things. Are we seeing any, common denominators, some trends in people who experience these, and not just experience these, because I could just watch this on television. I know we bring the news, right? But just watching it or viewing it, and being close, in close proximity to it. Can you talk about the effects that we're seeing and having?
Absolutely. So I think without question, we are seeing through media content some very tragic events that are perpetrated by individuals that are living with mental health conditions. But I want to make sure to call out that this is a very small subset or group of the mental health community. I think what is really important to bring home in terms of the messaging is that individuals living with a mental health condition are 11 times more likely to be victims of a violent act rather than to perpetrate a violent act. And so it's important when we think about the intersection between mental health and violence that we keep that in mind, that what we really need is a mental health response to a mental health crisis and not a policing response.
Yeah. We also suffer with a lot of homelessness here in New York City. Is there any direct correlation that we have between homelessness and mental health?
So homelessness, much like mental health, it can impact anyone, right? It doesn't discriminate. It affects us all. There are many different reasons why people can become homeless. One of the primary reasons certainly is a lack of affordable housing. And we know when we compare homeless families to homeless individuals, they tend to have higher rates of severe mental illness. In order to really address homelessness at its root, which is fundamental to overall health, be it physical health and certainly mental health as well, it is important to address the shortages in supportive housing. Housing is a human right, and we have to ensure that people have access to housing, but we also need to ensure that those individuals have the adequate levels of support necessary in order to sustain their housing long term.
So talk to us about your organization. I mean, you're front and center dealing with this matter, but talk to us about some upcoming things that you have to assist those and to also create some awareness.
Absolutely. So we have a lot of upcoming events. I think one of the things that I'm really excited about is our upcoming NAMI walk. It's taking place on Sunday, May 22nd at the South Street Seaport. It is our first time in 2 years being able to come together again in person. So we're especially excited this year. The day will consist of fun, fitness activities, art, an opportunity to get together and celebrate as a community, and so much more. For more information about our upcoming walk, we ask that you check out our website at www.NAMIwalksNYC.org. And I'd also like to share a bit about the services that we have going on. So, as I mentioned before, we have a number of different educational classes for both individuals living with a mental health condition as well as for family members and friends. We have over 30 different support groups. These include support groups on specific topics like living with anxiety, living with bipolar depression. But we also have some new groups that we are launching that are culturally specific groups that look at the intersection between culture and mental health. This is our Black Minds Matter support groups, and we also have an Asian American and Pacific Islander support group. And those groups will be launching in the months of May and in June. And we also have monthly public education events where we broadcast virtually an event on a number of different mental health related topics. These are available in English, and there's simultaneous Spanish and ASL interpretation services as well. For more information about our events, we ask that you contact our helpline at 212-684-3264 or via email at www.helpline@naminyc.org. And again, that email address is helpline@naminyc.org.
Okay, Lynette, well, we got to leave it there. Thank you for the great work that NAMI is doing in addressing the issue of mental health and mental illness. And certainly, we're glad that we have a great resource in NAMI to be able to reach out to. So thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we want our viewers to know if you want more information, you can visit the website at NAMINYC.org and then follow them on Facebook and Twitter at NAMI NYC Metro.